the Billie shirt, Billie sweatshirt, which is a Tilly in the buttons pattern. And I'm going to make the sweatshirt version just with the regular sleeve, not the balloon sleeve, because there is a balloon sleeve. I'm going to be using this lovely cable knit, which is from Higgs and Higgs. Now, I haven't heard brilliant things actually since when I did a little live chatting to you about all my fabrics. Someone said that this pilled a lot, so that'll be annoying if that does happen. But anyway, and I was hoping that I was going to have enough to do this and also to do a Lana skirt, but when I cut it all out, I realised I don't. So I'm going to have to order some more, but because I want to wear them as like a little cute set together. Anyway, let's see who's joining me today. Say hi, guys. Do use the chat. It's nice to kind of make the most of the fact that we're live rather than it being pre-recorded. And yeah, see who's here. It gives you a chance to chat to each other. When we used to do the sew-alongs, it was really lovely actually. People used to kind of meet each other on the sew-along and chat away and catch up. Hi there, Selena. Thank you for saying hi. Thanks for joining. So yeah, I've got everything ready. I've got my machine threaded up. It's all a bit too calm for me. Something will go wrong, as you know. The cocoa is on the ironing board, which is over there. That's the only thing that I think could go wrong. But anyway, so let's get started. And we'll see how far we got. We've got an hour. And oh, hello, hi in Guildford. It is dismal, isn't it, today? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stabilise. I'm faffing around with this chatting, but I'm going to stabilise the shoulders with some clear elastic. So you could use narrow ribbon or stay tape, but I had clear elastic, so I'm going to use that. So I'm just going to place that along the shoulder. So this is always something that's good to do if you're using jersey stretch fabric, just because the more you wear it and wash it, the more it may stretch and distort in the shoulders. So it's a little bit fiddly getting it on. There we go. And then I'm going to zigzag stitch it. Annoyingly, I've just realised I've put the zip pins in the wrong way around. How annoying. Never mind. We also want to put this on, I think I could move it down actually, so that it's a bit closer to the seam allowance. So we're meant to be putting this on just under the seam allowance, which is 1.5 centimetres. So it's sort of within that, but I think that was just, I'm going to flip the pins around. Make my life easier. So I'm just turning them around so that the point of the pin is going to be facing up towards the needle, because that will make it easy for me to take it out. Okay, let's lay it on the machine. There we go. We're going to pop it on zigzag stitch. Now, I think they have recommended 2 stitch length, 2.5 and 2.5. Okay, I'm probably going to go a little bit, well, for this I'll keep on that. So 2.5, and I'll just increase my stitch length. But when I'm doing my seams, I'm probably going to go a bit narrower than that on the zigzag. That's nice though. All right, so we're just popping that on. To stabilise that. Now, is anyone sewing along with me today? You might not be sewing this, but has anyone got me on whilst they're getting on with some sewing or some cutting out? Let's see what everyone's doing. Or maybe people are on their lunch break. Or maybe they're on a boring Zoom. Let's see what people are doing. Okay. That's that one done. Stabilised nicely, so we'll just do the other one. I was kind of hoping, I think if I wasn't doing this as a live and chatting along with you and doing my normal whizzy manic sewing, I think I probably could make this in an hour or so. So it's a nice easy make and a quick make. That said, if you're watching this, please don't think that you're in any way inadequate if you're not doing it in that time frame. But what I mean is it's a morning project. It's not a whole day or a whole weekend. Last night was, ow! I finished my peony dress that I did the first sew along before Christmas. The Fabric Godmode peony dress. I absolutely love it. It's so lovely, and I've got a night out with my friends from university on Saturday, and I'm gonna wear it. I'm looking forward to that. And I was hoping that I was gonna have this ready to wear tomorrow with the skirt. So I thought, oh, well, I'll finish this and then I'll make the Lana skirt, which was the original, like the sew along skirt. I'll make that tonight, but I don't have enough fabric. This is very annoying. So anyway, right. Okay, so we've got that. Then we're going to take, that's done. So we're going to now take the, oh gosh, I was meant to do it on the back, wasn't I? I did it on the front. Oopsie. Don't think it really matters. But yeah, anyway, the main thing is the shoulder seam to stabilise, so whether it's on the front or back, I don't think it matters that much. So now what we're doing is just lining up the shoulder seams, right sides together. So with the shoulder seam, I always line up the corners first, and then I'm going in with that middle notch. Pin a pin in here, and then over here. So just a reminder, if you're watching this afterwards, there will be lots of links down below in the description, but I didn't have a chance to add them in time for the live. But I will link to the fabric, and I'll also link to Tilly's pattern, and also my Buy Me a Coffee page, so that you can buy me a coffee and show your support that way. You can also drop me a comment, that's also really nice to see. So thank you for those of you that have already commented on previous sew-alongs, and also to those of you who have also bought me a coffee, as we call it. I really appreciate it. So we are going to now stitch that with our seam allowance. So 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. Let's just check. Yeah, it doesn't actually say that, but I'm just going to check on the beginning, I'm assuming. A solo seam with a 1.5 seam allowance. Yes. Okay, and she does recommend, or they recommend, the length to be 3 and the width to be 1.5. So I'm going to put my width on at 1.5, I'm going to put my length on at 3. That's much more what I normally would do when I'm sewing with knit fabric. And then I'm going to take my first pin out, do a nice little reverse. You could also use your lightning stitch if your machine has that. I don't really like my lightning stitch, so I prefer to do a zigzag. And so yes, the peony dress was a 3-part sew along. I'm not going to bother with doing another part of this one, because I think we'll get a lot of it done today. But and then the one that I did on Tuesday night was making a vintage dress shirt. So the sew over it pattern, and I am going to do part 2 of that on Tuesday night, definitely. So I think my rhythm is going to be in these winter months, Tuesday nights and then Thursdays, doing sew-alongs. And then I am working, I thought I was going to have everything finalised, but I haven't yet. On those of you in London, I'm going to start doing a Friday sew club hopefully at the new craft house coming up soon. And then I'm just trying to think about how we could do a Friday sew club that was kind of online. Now, the one that we would do in the physical space would just be people bringing their things and we'd just be sewing together. But I don't think that would work particularly or not all the time on the Friday sew club. I think you probably prefer to, be learning something maybe, or you might not want to do every single pattern that I'm making, but I thought we might do one Friday sew club where we're just sort of chatting about fabrics and patterns and that sort of thing, and maybe doing a bit of prep or some basic sewing, then in another session every month we'll definitely make a pattern. Maybe we do it over 2 of our Friday Sew Clubs. And then on the other one, the last one, it maybe do a kind of free sewing. So I will sew something and be talking to you about what I'm doing and pass on any tips that are kind of transferable across all patterns, and you might be sewing something else. So I might just do a really easy sew, so something like a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or a simple skirt, that sort of thing. But that's how I'm thinking it could work, and it would be yeah, online. I think I can do it on YouTube, and I just make it private, but I need to check that too, because I think that's better for me rather than Zoom trying to manage it. So watch this space. I'm gonna hopefully try and finalize those details. And in terms of price, really want to make it affordable. So I really don't know. It's funny, I've really lost my confidence in pricing and things for this sort of thing. I can price flowers, but back into this and the value. I think to make it affordable, I was thinking something like £12–15 a month. So you just pay one amount a month, and then you've got the 4 sessions with me. I did think also about school holidays or my holidays, and so it might be that one out of those is not live on the Friday, just because I might have Jasmine, or not be able to do it or whatever, for whatever reason. But that's what I was thinking. So I'd love some feedback on what you think, or if there is anything I've missed in what I suggested the sort of Friday Sew Club that's online could include. I think it'd be nice to have a Facebook group for you all as well. So okay, fab. Someone's just given a little tip about the stabilizer there. Have a look in the comments. Right, I'm just going to press this open. Let's just whack this on. Sorry, Coco, disturbing your beauty sleep. So the worst thing happened the other day. So I went before the sew along. I had to go and get my big light out of my garage. And Coco always comes and, well, normally she always comes and trots along and has a look at what I'm doing and goes into the garage. But it was pitch black because it was 5 o'clock. And I got my things. I had no idea that she was there. The next morning, she didn't come for her breakfast, and I hadn't clocked that I hadn't seen her that night. She was locked in the garage all night. Felt awful. I mean, there was like some rugs and things that I'm throwing out that she'd kind of made a little den for herself in. But, oh, awful. Massive, massive cat mum guilt. Right, pressing those seams open. I'm here, I'm just over here. And then it says, I think we're going to go on to neckband. Fold the neckband in half by bringing the shoe short ends together. Yes, so we're going to do that. So let's get the neckband. So yeah, really sorry, Coco. I'm sorry, Coco, I feel awful. I should say as well, just going back to the Friday Sew Club, that won't be for beginners, because like absolute beginners. And then it made me think, oh gosh, am I going to have to do a club that's for beginners as well? I don't know if I'll have time for that. But we'll see. I'm assuming most people, because those of you who know about me have been sewing, and that's why you know about me. But therefore you're not beginners. Then word might get out and might be more beginners joining. So anyway, I guess we can cross that bridge when we get to it. But to start off with, it will just be something that is for people who already know some basic dressmaking stuff. Right, we've done the band. So fold the neckband, we've done that. Then we are going to trim the seam allowances. If you use a regular sewing machine, I did, so we need to trim those down. So I guess reducing some of the bulk here. So I'm just going to trim them to half. It doesn't say what to trim them to, so I'm going to just trim them to half. And then press the seam allowances open or to one side. Then we are going to fold. In fact, what I'm doing is I'm pressing those seams open there, and then I'm going to put a pin in just to keep those seams pressed open. This neck, I'm a bit worried. This is not going to like, am I going to get that over my head? Nah. With difficulty. How is that? I think I may need to, this fabric should have stretch in it, but there's not really enough stretch. I'm just checking I haven't done anything stupid. Wouldn't be the first time. No, I haven't. That is definitely the neckband. Okay. I mean, I don't have a very big head, but... Right, okay, I can't... Let's just... I'm going to ruin my hair, aren't I? But we've got to check these things, guys. Yeah. Okay, I could get it on. Now, I don't have... I'm just ruining my hair. I don't have a particularly big head, and that was tight. So you might want to make it slightly bigger if your fabric is similar to mine. Ow. Oh, annoying. Check it at that point. Right, I'm going to quickly press that like that. Over here. I did far too much moving around of the tripod the other night, so that's, and then I ended up the whole ironing board collapsing, and it was all very chaotic. So I've decided I'm not going to, because there isn't that particularly difficult ironing to do with this. I thought that would probably be better just to do it over there and keep you guys here. Okay, so find the centre front by folding it half widthways. Okay, so we've got the centre front there. We have got that seam at the back, which is the centre back. And then here we need to find the centre front and centre back of the actual sweatshirt. So that's there. Folding those, lining the shoulder seams, and then folding those, aligning the shoulder seams at the front as well. Ooh. Okay. And then we're going to lay it flat. I'm still worrying about this side of this thing. Anyway, lay it flat, and then we pin it on, I assume. Yeah, perfect. So we're just going to pin it on first, so lining up centre back, which is that side where the seam is. Where that notch is, where that pin is. And then here as well. Is Tilly the only one who has done coloured photos of her step-by-step instructions? Because it is just so good, I have to say. She's always been so good at all these little attention to details to make things really easy to understand. I wonder if... Right, at the shoulder seam there, I'm just going to keep that pressed open. So I've popped 2 pins in there. And then over here, now we need to make sure that because we're going to have to ease it in a bit. I do find it easier to do it like this. I know you're meant to do it flat. Go that way, it might be easier for you to see what I'm doing, but kind of hold it up more when I'm doing it. Anyway, so I'm just trying to keep an eye on what kind of ease I've got there. Got the centre front there, that looks fine. So it's going to be more of the front that's coming in. You might need to stretch it a little bit more. Yeah, it's fine. Can you see there? It's slightly bigger, which is normal. So ideally a neckband's about 10% smaller than the neckline. But I'm just gonna, yeah, so you just sort of have to stretch the neckband, and that the whole point is then it pulls the neck in. But there is, you know, sometimes, and it's interesting she's popped a link to it, because there is sometimes it's necessary to kind of adjust based on the stretch that you've got. Probably if I was more careful, not careful, but I probably could have, not more careful, but more of a perfectionist, let's say that. I might recut my neckband just so that every time I put it on I don't have to redo my hair. So it is a bit tight. Just trying to look on the photo. Yeah, it is quite a high neck on the photo. Maybe should have thought about a lower neckline, made it bigger. But anyway, that's something for you to bear in mind if you ever are making the neckline bigger, and then you would measure your hole round your neckline, and then you've got to make your neckband to bigger. But if you think I need to make it slightly smaller, so think about that 10% based on the stretch of fabric that you've got, but that sort of 10% smaller is a good marker to kind of base it on. Okay, so we're now going to sew that. Now we can slot this on under there. And we can start where we're going to start. Let's start at the centre back. Okay, so we've got the 5/8 of an inch. Yeah. Still 1.5 centimetres still. I have to say, there's going to be a lot of bulk in these seam allowances. It's going to be quite annoying because getting that to sit, I mean, hopefully we are top stitching, but I might have to grade my seams. So where you cut the seam allowances at different amounts, just so it doesn't kind of create a big wedge. So my friend is staying with me at the moment, and her and her daughter are. And if you've watched the Sew Along from the other day, you'll have seen her appear as she comes through from the door from work. And last night when I was like, oh, I'm just going to do some sewing for fun, I'm just going to finish off my peony dress because I really want to wear it this weekend. They were both so fascinated. So they both, you know, like, but they both, her little girl's 7, but they both like clothes, and her mum particularly is a stylish woman. And they were just fascinated by the fact that I was just sitting in the kitchen making a dress. They thought it was the most incredible thing. It's like, oh, I've forgotten what it feels like when you, it's that thing when you know, people are like, oh my gosh, you made that. Yeah, that hasn't happened to me in a while because I didn't really worn much of my handmade wardrobe. Or if I have, it's with people that know that I sew and knew what I used to do for a living, and so they're not particularly impressed anymore. But it is amazing, isn't it? Such a great skill. We shouldn't, and also, apart from, you know, obviously you want to know where your fabric has come from, but I do love the fact that I know who's made it. I do love that. Back at the beginning. Wonderful. Overlap little reversey-worsey. I don't think I did reversey-worsey, but that's fine. Damn it, what's it caught on? It's caught, the foot has caught one of the... There we go. Caught a little bit of the knit. That is annoying. What is going on there? I've got a little thing, I'm not happy about that. I've got a little pleat. We're not having that. just a little pleat in there that had happened. I'm just going to unpick that because I really, I don't know if it was on the back. Where was it? Yeah, it was on the back. It was just where the centre back is. But I think, yeah, we don't want a pleat there. A little tuck rather, not a pleat. So I'll just unpick a little bit. And then to fix it, what I will do is work from the neckline side, not the neckband, and just ease that in a little bit. Just re-stitch that bit. I need to do something about my chair legs making that noise every time I move. As you'll hear, I've got a stone kitchen floor. Better. Better, better, better. Better, 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 better. Okay. Cute, eh? Right, now we definitely need to do something about these seams. My goodness, what a lot of chunk. Chunky chunk chunk. Okay, so I'm going to use these scissors and I'm going to take the first seam allowance and cut the most off that. I don't think it matters which way really you do it, but I don't know. Maybe actually you should go from the underside. It's probably better, isn't it, to do the smallest on the jumper and then grade along the seam allowances from there. But it does get top stitched in place. So you won't need to grade if you've got a thinner fabric. Let's see, what do they say? No, it just says trim the seam allowances. So grading is something you do often with wool. If you're making a wool coat or something, you would need to grade because wool is typically quite big on the seam allowances. And you wouldn't do it on every seam, but it's usually around the neckline or maybe around a cuff or something. Usually though, a neckline where you're adding something to it. Or okay, just trim that one. Actually, weirdly, there's a slight difference there anyway. So I'm just going in now and just trimming just lightly, little bit off the middle seam allowance. So that's slightly different. That's fine. Okay. Now we need to press that seam allowance now down towards the bodice. So on the front and the back. I'm still here over here, so I'm just pressing it sort of flat downwards rather than up towards the neckband. Now my fabric is not a big one for being pressed, I can see that now. It's bouncy, but sorry Poppy, I mean Coco. Coco's getting his steam facial at the moment, guys. Okay. There we go. That's all right. Right. Then we're going to start at the centre back. Let's see. I'd start at the centre back. And we're going to what's the distance? Okay. So the top stitch, they're recommending that you make it a little bit wider again for top stitching. They've also said you don't have to do it. I know some people don't like the look of top stitching. There is absolutely no way I would get away with not doing it on this just because of the bulk. I've got to find it. Where is my centre back? But if it's pressing nicely and pressing flat, then you won't need to. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to think about how I'm lining it up. So find a position on your kind of where the seam is and on the presser foot, decide where you want that to be, and then keep that in line, and that way you'll keep the right position. So I've got a little point on my foot that I'm keeping the seam on, and then that will keep me in the right position all the way around. Like an edge stitch foot, really, you could do with that. Just a little bit stuck, just need a bit of a pull through this because it is a little bit. Just maybe reduce my pressure on my presser foot just to allow it to come through a bit more easily. Just looking at what's going on now. Is that a funny stitch? What is that? Oh, it's taken that in. I'm like, whoa, it looks like it's couched something. Hasn't couched anything. It looked like it had couched over a thread, and I was like, why is that looking like that? What's wrong with the zigzag? But it just caught the thread from the beginning and then had stitched over it. So I never used to love top stitching because I always used to think that it made things look more sporty, more cash, which it kind of does, but I do prefer how things just sit better when they've been top stitched, on jersey particularly, on a neckband. What are we doing for time? Half an hour. Oh, not bad. Well, we'll definitely get a sleeve in. Needle's broken. It was just a little bit too chunksome for it. Oh, annoying. Fortunately, I thought that might happen. I've got another one here. Well, not thought it might happen, but was prepared in case that did happen. I don't know where the little bit of the needle's gone though. Where has it gone? Let's hope it's not gone into the machine. Is it still in there? Oh, it's still. Yeah, it's there. Still in it. Ooh. Ooh. This is alive, guys. Things go wrong. And most importantly, you can be sewing for as many years as I've been sewing and things always still go wrong. I think that must be reassuring to know. Especially if you're new and especially if you don't have any friends that sew. So you don't have that sense of someone to, you know, find reassurance from. Just doing it slowly. And we're fine. Crisis averted. Back to the centre back, little reverse and overlap, and there we go. So we're using a zigzag, I should say, just in case someone's watching this who's new to sewing with jersey. We're using a zigzag because that gives stretch to the stitch, which means that the fabric will still respond, stretch and go back and recover over places like that. Okay. We have a neckband. And now we're going to put a sleeve in, I believe. We're not doing the balloon sleeve, so we don't need to do any e-stitching. So we are just going to go straight out and pop it in the flap. Whoops! Which is a really lovely way of putting a sleeve in. You could only normally do that with a kimono sleeve if it was a woven fabric, but because it's stretch, you can do it like this. You can do it easy peasy. Okay, so now I just need to make sure I've got the right pieces. No, that's not that sleeve, that's this sleeve. Has it e-stitched? Oh gosh. I wouldn't e-stitch the thing typically. No, gather stitch. Open the bodice out. No one so we can. Oh, for the straight sleeve version. There we go. No, not doing it. It's quite hard to read the instructions at the same time. Sometimes. I mean, you have to remember that I had done sew-alongs only really I've only before this, I only had ever done sew-alongs of our patterns that I knew. So I did think that when I was doing the peony dress, I was like, I've never made this before and I'm doing a sew-along. But yeah, confidence, just got to have confidence. Also, in a way, I think that's better because I'm reading it like you're reading it. You're reading it and you're sort of thinking, how's that gonna, you know, thinking it through. Whereas if it was mine, I might sort of not even think about pointing certain things out because, yeah, I practiced it or something. Okay. So we're now gonna sew around that. So just starting at, I don't think I actually explained what I was doing then, did I? I was just chatting about something else. I lined up the centre, the top notch on the sleeve with the shoulder seam. And I also lined up the front and back sleeve notches. Very important, so that you're making sure you're getting the right sleeve on. We've got a right sleeve and a left sleeve, and they are slightly different shapes. I once made a faux fur coat, and I put the sleeves on the wrong way because there was just no way that I could see where the notches were. I had to sew the whole thing with my Hoover there, like, because it was just going everywhere. It was just, I'd never again, I was like, I'm never using faux fur again. I hated it. I put them on the wrong way. Anyway, and as a result, the coat sort of swung back like that because the sleeves need to sort of slightly swing forward because that's what our arms do. But I got them on the wrong way, and so they just sort of did that. Oh, very uncomfortable. So then it put pressure across the back of the coat. Yeah. Okay, one done. Let's go do the other one quickly, and then we can turn it into a jumper. I'm going to speed pin this. I don't think anyone commented, or if they did, on if they're sewing at the moment. Sorry if you did and I missed it. I know we had a little tip from somebody about, is it Stephanie? About the elastic. Well, maybe I'm not catching any of the chat, so maybe you're just being quiet and watching. Do you want to come here, Coco, and say hi? Come here. Come here. Yeah. Come on then. Come say hi. Yeah. Oh, here she is. Hey, what is it? What is it? Yeah, you good girl. You good girl, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, don't put your bottom there in the camera, darling. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that. You're providing some entertainment whilst I'm doing something boring, are you? Yeah. From a young age, Coco has liked the sound of my sewing machine. Once it starts whirring, she just turns up. She loves watching me wind a bobbin on. Yeah. You're going to lie there. Don't lie on the scissors, darling. Don't lie on the scissors. Oh, you little diva. You little diva. Oh, yeah. Hello. Yeah. Now you need to go away now because I need to start sewing in a minute. You position yourself right there. Lovely, Coco. Lovely. I didn't think by saying, come say hi, Coco, she'd come and take all the limelight. All the glory, eh, Cokes? Eh? Yeah. You're looking enormous on screen, but let's remember, Coco, the camera does have some pounds, it does. She's clearly forgiven me for the garage fiasco. Thank God for that. Okay. Sorry, Coco, if you don't mind me. Right, I'm just going to whiz through this sleeve. God, it feels so good to be sewing again. Feels so good. I took the break at the right time. I didn't kill my love for it completely. I did pretty much exhaust it for a time. Now I've taken a break and come back to it. It's just so nice. And what's so nice is I'm not sewing for work. I mean, I know I'm trying to kind of earn a bit of winter income doing sew-alongs, but I'm really doing them because I enjoy them. And so it's not like I've got to sew for like a photo shoot or samples or whatever, you know, all the kind of, with the pressure of got to think of a new idea, got to think of this, you know, there's a lot of pressure all the time. It was just, I just want to have this again. I want to make this. Without thinking, oh, I better turn it into a pattern or I better do this. I could just sew for no other reason that I want to sew. It's brilliant. I guess that's what you all do. Hey, Coco? Hello? Yeah. I shouldn't have spoken to you. You've come back. Right, I need to show this bit now, darling. So back you go. Right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to close this seam off, the underarm seam. So we're going to lay the sweatshirt right sides together. Just cut our threads off. I didn't do any pressing. I assume those go upwards. So that's just the arms or seam. I'm going to press those upwards and I'm going to pin that. And then we've got a notch around the elbow there. Oh, that's why I stopped asking, oh, selling bridal wear, was that? Asking something, yeah, exactly. The joy was lost. What fabric is this? Hi, Carol. This is Higgs and Higgs cable knit. So it's like a Roma Ponte kind of thing. I think I need to try and get a little bit more distance on the camera, and I'd be able to show more of what I'm doing. Helpful, not helpful, Coco. If you're not careful, I will pin your tail. Yes, I will. Okay. Okay, so pinning from here at the top here all the way down to the end here with the seam there, the seam lined up there. Okay, so that will close it off. So let's sew that. Over. So we're using the same seam allowance, 1.5 centimetres. We're using the same, oh, I've gone back to a wider stitch length, whoops. I was going to say we're using this, oh, sorry, darling. You're using the same stitch width, the stitch length. What's that, Coco, there? What's that? People. Get a screenshot of that. That is brilliant. Oh, Coco. Right, we're getting to a bulky part here. I didn't grade these seams. Less important in terms of they're not going to show, it's in the underarm, but given what happened with the needle, I'm a bit nervous, so I am just going to slowly go over that. That was fine, no crisis there, that was good. And oh gosh, I hope this chair's not getting, one of the legs of my chair's went. Don't want that to happen whilst I'm on it. Okay, so we have what looks like a sweatshirt. I need to put the other side on, and the other close the other side. So let's do that, and then I think I'm going to try and do the I'm not going to do the cuffs. Well, the cuffs are the same as the bottom band, really. It's all very similar. I have to say, if you're making the balloon version, the balloon sleeve version, I definitely would increase these. If you used this fabric, you definitely need to increase the size of the bands from the neck band to the wrist to the cuff to the bottom hemband, because you just wouldn't get it all in. It'd just be too much fabric, it'd be really thick. Sorry, I hope that probably all you can hear is Coco purring. Coco, can you move away now, darling? Off you go. Go on, off you go. Off you go. I'm just going to sit there. She's at least out of shot now. You're still purring. Everyone will still be able to hear you, won't they? Okay, that's all pinned. Just sew this again, and then we'll put a band on. I guess it'd be quicker to do a cuff, so let's do a cuff together, and then you can just repeat those steps by yourself. Oh, something sounds like is the bobbin about to run out? That up, drop that back down again. So we're at that thick part again. I'm just being careful that I go slowly. There we go. Voilà. Okay, essentially we have made a sweatshirt in an hour. We haven't finished the cuffs, we haven't finished the bottom, but that's pretty good, isn't it? Really like it, and I'm very excited about it with the skirt. I'm gonna have to, the moment I get off this, I'm gonna have to go onto Higgs and Higgs and order myself some more of this so that I can make my Lana skirt to match. Right, cuff. Cuffy, cuff, cuff. Fold the cuffs in half, right sides together, pinning the two shorter notch edges. So we're gonna start off with the cuffs, and we're gonna do that. Done. Next, we're going to fold them upwards. I guess we need to press that. We're going to press that seam. Press it open. Right. Like that. Okay. Ooh, these are also quite tight. I'll just, again, if you're using this fabric, be warned. So let's slot those on. So we've got the sleeve the right way round, and we're just slotting the cuff on, and we're going to line it up with the underarm seam and with the seam here. And then we're going to pin it. Now if you've done the balloon one, you're going to have this, the sleeve would have been gathered. But for this one, it's not got any ease stitching, so I'm hoping I'm going to get a little bit of stretch from this so that I can ease stretching the cuff into the end of the sleeve. Oh, hello. Hi, Carmen. Doesn't matter that you're late, you're here. You have missed Coco. We haven't had any other drama. Oh no, you've missed a broken needle. I was thinking, what else has gone wrong today? Now, this is so small, this is not going to, so this is a size 10. This is not going to fit on, even if I took this off my machine. So we're just going to have to do it in little short, sharp bursts. So again, same seam allowance. It's bulky. Very bulky here as well, because we've got all of the seam allowances. It's doing it, we're getting there. Trying to stretch it as much as I can as I go as well. Yeah, we're coming back round to the beginning now. We're going to meet our stitching where we begun. We're not going to break a needle. Coco has resumed position at the end of the ironing board. This time though she's at the end, and I have to say, because she's a full-figured cat, she's basically, I'm slightly worried she's going to tip it up. Anyway, right, I need to grade those seams again, so that those seam allowances, but there we have the cuff. I'm not going to top stitch it because I don't think it needs to. My hand will be in there, but I will trim down those seam allowances. So there we have, in an hour with waffle as well. Pretty much, I mean, it would take me probably another 20 minutes to finish this off. It's gorgeous and soft, this fabric, I have to say. So stay tuned for, look, I'll keep an eye on my Instagram, I'll finish it, and then I'm going to order the more fabric, and then I'll make the Lana skirt to go with it, which is like the original sew-along skirt. And then I will do a reveal of the outfit I enjoyed sewing that with you. Thank you very much for joining, giving me time out of your days. So don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That helps it be found. Also, please do show your support with Buy Me a Coffee. I will put a link to it after this, but it's essentially buymeacoffee.com / oh, hi Sal, / Lisa Comfort. So you can go on there and show your support in that way. Right. I will be back on Tuesday night with the second part of how to make a shirt out of the vintage shirt dress. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do on Thursday. Probably should have a think about that.